Greetings fellow traders, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm going to analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. The last week has been a really volatile week and not really successful for me in my trading. As you see here, we've had so many crazy moves last week. Minus 4% on AUD JPY, minus 4.5% on AUD USD, which for a currency pair is just really crazy. And this is definitely not the normal moves that you see in the market. So it is really volatile. It is quite a, I would say, exceptional situation. So for this week, I do not have as many trades on my watch list as I had last week, because this week I want to be a little more conservative. I want to have a closer look at my trades, plan my entries a little more precise, and just be not as, I would say, just monitor the trades much longer and try to get a better entry and learn from the moves that the market had last week to actually have a profitable week again. The first trade that I have here on my watch list is CAD JPY. Top-down analysis is still the downtrend that it has been for quite some time now. We had the weekly rejection here, which I was anticipating, just couldn't catch a proper entry here. But what we see on the daily is that we are forming a head and shoulders pattern, which in this context is going to be a continuation pattern. So a continuation to the downside, pretty much the reversal pattern of this correction phase that we had here. We didn't really broke out on the daily, but we have the wick down. If we go to the lower time frame, we see that we broke out, reversed, and now it looks like we are rejecting the zone here. So I'm actually going to be looking for a potential entry on Monday here, or maybe on Tuesday. So when the market is opening, but only during London or New York session, I'm not going to enter the trade or open a trade before any of those sessions. What could happen here, what I expect, that price actually comes a little further into this zone here again, which is considered to be a stop zone where a lot of stop loss orders are sitting, and as those are getting triggered and we are rejecting the EMA, price might unfold the momentum to the downside to then open a short position. So this is going to be my plan. I'm going to look closely here for a potential entry and entry signal, but I'm not going to enter before London session. So I'm just going to wait for London session to come in, settle, and then see what the price is doing in this scenario here. Head and shoulders patterns usually really strong. So I am considering a short trade here because this is what fits my strategy. Next pair is Euro CHF. What we have here is kind of still a correction. It is not really an uptrend. It could have become a potential uptrend, but now we had this really huge rejection, but the market just had really crazy moves. So the only trade I am considering here as of right now is also a retest of the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern here, probably on the daily. See the EMA getting rejected on the lower time frame. I'm going to look for a potential entry and entry signal to then short Euro CHF and sell it to the downside, with the first profit target probably being here, the level it has reversed from. Again, break and retest trade, head and shoulders patterns, very common, very strong patterns. I like trading those if they appear and if I spot them, and I spot this one here, so I'm going to trade it. The next pair for the week I'll have a look at is Euro GBP. Now we are in an uptrend, so I do consider this uptrend to be continued this week. So I want to wait for a retest of the zone here, but maybe wait for one or two like liquidity grabs here on the lower time frame, as this has price, as this is what price has done quite often in the past and really stopped me out many times, break even, and just triggered my stop loss in general. Probably with the interesting new economic situation where the market is having those moves, I am going to be a little more conservative with my trades now and just wait for at least a 2-time rejection here before I consider a long position, because of those big moves that are happening here. So I do not want to get stopped out right away. So I'm going to wait here. Might take a couple of weeks, it might take a couple of days. Maybe it's not even going to happen this week, the retest, but I've set an alarm here. So whenever the price comes back to this area, I'm going to check for a shifter structure and my entry signal to then buy Euro GBP. The next pair that is on my watch list is Euro USD. Now I like the weekly price action here. What the weekly candle has left here is a really huge wick, but price still closed above this area. So what I'm expecting now in the beginning of the week is for the next weekly candle, a little wick down here, probably into this area, and then a wick fill during the rest of the week. So on the daily, as you see, we even had the pullback here. It's also kind of a cup and handle, a potential cup and handle pattern here, if you like. And I just want to wait for price to come down to this area here again, which is also around psychological level, the 1.09 around psychological level. Maybe have on the lower time frame again 2 rejections, just to make sure that this is actually going to be a support area. What I've noticed happen quite often recently is that whenever price went back to one of those zones where I'm planning my entry, it has rejected it, shifted the structure, but then came back again a little lower. And after that, it actually had the bigger move to the upside. So my plan is going to be to enter after this lower after this lower low here that has happened. But if then price shows a really strong push to the upside or just bullish movement in general, then I want to place my entry here and then buy Euro USD. The next pair will be GBP CAD. It is in still a really strong uptrend, as you see, but we had this uptrend going on for quite a long time now, so I expect it to have a little further correction, probably down to this area here. And on a lower time frame, it is again a head and shoulders pattern with the neckline being broken. So what I want to see now is maybe price to go a little lower first, then come back to this neckline here, grab the liquidity, lower time frame, maybe a double or triple rejection, and then I'm going to sell GBP CAD with the first profit target being this obvious former resistance area here, which might become support now, or we might actually break below, but then we could reverse immediately. So maybe the take profit is going to sit here so that it's going to grab some of the liquidity that is sitting there. But I will be careful with all my trades, much more careful this week, because I got stopped out quite often last week, as you saw in my Telegram channel. So I want to avoid this at all costs this week. Let's see if I'm even going to open a trade the upcoming week, but probably maybe one trade if I get the chance. I just think that the market has just so much buying and selling going on right now that the direction of it seems to be kind of indecisive. It doesn't really know where it wants to go. Like the buyers and sellers, the big institutions, just do not really know where the economy is going to go now. And this is what's just causing like this whole uncertainty. It's what's causing all those different moves. So here, easy break and retest of the neckline to then sell GBP CAD. The next pair I am having a closer look at is NZD USD. On the weekly, we also saw here a really major push. Very often after those pushes, you have as we had here, for example, you just have a reaction to the upside. It's pretty much tries to balance out this little imbalance here. I do not like considering this to be an imbalance or just to talk about imbalances, but it is quite obvious that after such a strong push, you very often just have pretty much after a sell-off, a lot of strong buying power again. And -3% is a lot for a week, or just for a day. Actually, this was the push of the day. And what we see here is also left shoulder, head, and right shoulder formation with the neckline being this level here. Also around psychological level 0.57. So this is a neckline. I want to see a retest of this neckline here. Price getting rejected. Grab some of the liquidity here. Maybe a double or triple rejection on the lower time frame again. Again, going to be much more patient with entries this week to then sell this NZD USD pair here. Now the last pair I'm going to have a closer look at for this week is Euro CHF, and I just have so many zones here. It looks a little confusing, I know, but on the weekly we see here a really gigantic head and shoulders pattern. So this is the left shoulder, we have the head, and then we have the right shoulder. We broke the neckline here, so we might get a weekly retest now of this area. Could take 1 or maybe even 2 weeks, so I might not get the entry signal that I'm looking for this coming week, but it is going to be a trade I will have a closer look at. So I want to see price get back to this area, reject here, maybe grab the liquidity or sweep the liquidity, reject the 50 EMA here, and then head to the downside with the shifter structure and maybe a double rejection. Going to be really patient with this trade as well. It's going to take probably a couple days until price comes back to this area here. But if it does and it shows the weakness, I am definitely looking for short opportunities on USD CHF. As you see here on my watch list, other pairs have made moves as crazy as minus 4.5% in a day, which is absolutely insane for the Forex market. And I'm not even... I did look at those pairs again, set certain alarms, but I'm not planning any trades in those pairs for the coming week. As I said, it wasn't really a successful week last time, and I just want to be a little more careful now. Watch what the market is doing. Will it have another crazy move? If so, I just do not want to get stepped up because of one of those moves. So I will be really patient, really careful. I set alarms here again on those pairs, and if those alarms are getting triggered, I will have a look at the pairs again, look at potential trades, setups, and I will share those potential trades and setups in my free Telegram channel, which you can join at any time. I will put the link to it into the video description again. I will share my potential new trade setups, show running trades, send regular trade updates. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join. You'll also find a link to my Instagram channel there and my TikTok if you want to have a look at those social media channels as well. For now, those are all my top trades for the upcoming week. Thank you for watching, everyone. Make sure to manage your risk properly and see you next Sunday.